Hi there guys, welcome back to the Patchwork Mystery CAL. You've got Sammy here from Hook, Wine and Stitches, and this week for week 3 we're going to be doing the Twisted Time Square designed by the gorgeous Courtney Lang at Made with Love and Yarn. I'm going to be working this square in 2 colours. Of course, colour preference is entirely up to you. Now, this week we are starting with a magic circle. So I do my magic circle a little bit differently. I make my magic circle and pull up my first loop before I put it on my hook. I then hold the circle, pull my first loop through as a slip stitch. So we're going to be working 6 single crochet into our magic ring and then closing it up. And you can see I keep my magic ring quite large until I've worked my stitches in. So 6 single crochet into the magic ring, then I'll be pulling it closed and joining my stitches with a slip stitch. So I've got 4, 5 and 6. Now I'm going to grab my tail, making sure I've got all my stitches sitting properly, and close up my ring. Not too tight, and I don't fasten it off until I've worked another round or 2. So joining with a slip stitch to finish off our first round. Now round number 2, we're going to chain 1 and then single crochet increase into each stitch. So 2 single crochet into each stitch of the previous round, which will give us 12 single crochet for round 2. I'm going to leave you guys to work those 12 single crochet. At the end, be joining with a slip stitch and finishing off with my first colour, adding in my second for round 3. So at the end of this round you'll have 12 single crochet, and I will meet you back here with my second colour for round 3. Hey guys, we're back. I've just joined my second colour in for round 3. Now I'm going to chain 2, not counting that as a stitch. Going to pop a half double crochet into the same stitch space from the previous round, then a half double crochet increase into the next. So 2 half double crochet into the 1 stitch space. Now we're going to repeat that simple pattern all the way around. So a half double crochet and a half double crochet increase. At the end of this round we'll have 18 stitches, but we're joining a little bit differently. We're going to be doing a reverse join as opposed to slip stitching into the last stitch to finish off. I'll just finish working these last few half double crochets so I can show you how to do that reverse join. Now the reverse join is important because our next round is worked into the 3rd loop of the half double crochet, which I will show you of course, but finishing with the reverse join gives a much neater finish to this round and accentuates the effect created by hooking into the 3rd loop of these half double crochet for the next one. Okay. 17, 18. Now to finish this off, we're going to pull that loop up, turn our work over, remembering our chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch, so we're going to go into the top of our first stitch, grab that loop on our hook, and then pull it through the first stitch. We're then ready to finish off with this colour yarn. The next round will be worked with our first colour, and that is the reverse join. Alright guys, I'll see you back here in a moment for round 4. Okay guys, we're back ready for round 4. Now round 4's worked a little differently. We're working in the third loop of the half double crochet. So normally we'd work through the top there, or the front or back stitch. But for this round, when you look at the back of your work, you can see there's a little third loop to the stitch. So I've just joined in there with a slip stitch, doing a chain of 1, then working to a single crochet into the same stitch, single crochet into the next stitch, tails everywhere, and then a single crochet increase, so 2 single crochet into the 1 stitch, 1, 2. You can see the top of our stitch is kind of sitting forward, and that third loop's coming up at the back there. There's the third loop, and the top of our stitch sitting towards the front. So we're going to repeat that very simple stitch sequence of 2 single crochet across 2 stitches. So 1 and 2, and then a single crochet increase into the third. We're going to repeat that all the way back to the beginning, where we'll finish off with a slip stitch to join. At the end of this round, there will be 24 single crochet. I'll let you guys finish this round of single crochet. I'll meet you back here for round 5, and I'll be continuing with colour A. Okay, back ready for round 5. So I've just done a chain of 3 as my first stitch, so that counts as the first double crochet. Pop a double crochet into the next stitch, and then we're going to do a twisted double crochet. So I'm skipping popping a double crochet into the next stitch. So this is a twisted double crochet increase. So we've popped a double crochet in. Now we're going to go behind the stitch, back into the same stitch of the previous round to draw up a loop, pull it behind the first double crochet we popped into that stitch, and then complete our double crochet. So you can see it's a twisted double crochet increase. We've got the 2 double crochet in the 1 spot. Now we're going to repeat this stitch pattern all the way back around, finishing off with a slip stitch to join. We'll have 30 double crochet, including our twisted double crochet increase at the end. I'm just going to show you the sequence and the twisted double crochet increase again. So we're going to pop a double crochet into the next 3, each of the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then we're ready for a twisted double crochet increase. So showing you that stitch again, we pop a double crochet into the next stitch. Let's see if I can get it nice and clear on the camera. We yarn over, we go behind the double crochet we've just done and into the same stitch that we worked that double crochet. We draw up a loop and draw it behind the stitch. So our first stitch is sitting across, then we complete our double crochet. So we've done a twisted double crochet increase. You can see the double crochet stitches crossing over each other, both through the same stitch of the previous round. If you want to follow along with the video for that stitch repetition, go back about 45 seconds. Otherwise, at the end of this round, you'll have 30 stitches, 30 double crochet stitches. We'll be continuing with colour A, but we'll be joining with a slip stitch to finish the round. I'll see you back here soon. Okay, we finished round 5 and we're ready for round 6. So I've just done a chain of 1, popping a single crochet into the next stitches until I get to that twisted double crochet increase. Now here I'm going to do a single crochet increase, but rather than working into the top of the stitch, I'm going to work between the 2 posts. So 1 and 2. So we're going to repeat that stitch pattern all the way around. So 4 single crochet, and then a single crochet increase between the posts of the double crochet, twisted double crochet increase. So not into the stitch here, between the posts with a single crochet increase. 1 and 2. And then we repeat again. So repeating that all the way back around to the beginning. Finishing with a slip stitch to join. At the end of this round you'll have 36 single crochet stitches, and I'll be finishing off with this colour and moving back to the grey, which is my second colour. I'll see you all back here soon. Moving on to round 7. So I've just joined my second colour in with a slip stitch into the last stitch I completed in round 6. Done a chain 2 to start, but that doesn't count as a stitch, so I'm going to pop a half double crochet into the same stitch, and the next stitch, okay. Now I'm going to do a front post treble crochet into the stitches from round 5. So we're doing a front post treble crochet around the double crochet from round 5 that is directly below the half double crochet that I've just done. So we're working around the double crochet that is in the middle of the stitches between our twisted double crochet increase. You can see there's a standard double crochet on each side and then the twisted double crochet increase. Normally when we do a front post we skip the stitch behind it, but that isn't the case for this pattern. So we won't be skipping a stitch. We'll be popping a half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1, 2. You can see there's still a stitch in every stitch, and our front post treble crochet sitting between the twisted double crochet increase from round 5. Come out with 2 more half double crochet. Now we're going to do a half double crochet twisted increase. So this will be sitting on the stitch that sits above the previous increase, twisted increase from round 5. Goodness, words are failing me. So we're going to go into the next stitch with a half double crochet and do this exactly the same. So yarning over, going behind the stitch we've just created and into the same stitch from the previous round, pulling up a loop, bringing it up behind the half double crochet we just created, and then finishing our stitch. You can see that cute little stitch sitting there. Got 3 half double crochet, 1, 2, and 3, and then we're repeating that stitch sequence from the front post treble crochet. So my next move will be a front post treble crochet in the stitch directly below the half double I've just done. And if you're losing place, you can see the 3 between the twisted double crochet increases in round 5. It's the center. So if you want to follow along with the video, go back around 3 minutes. Otherwise, continue that stitch repetition all the way back to the beginning, joining with a slip stitch into the first half double crochet. At the end of this round, there will be 48 stitches with color B, and we won't be finishing off because we're using our second color, color B, for round 8. I'll see you back here soon. Okay, we finished off round 7, still working with our second color. Time for round 8. So I'm going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and then do 7 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a single crochet increase. So nice and simple for round 8, 7 single crochet and then a single crochet increase. I'll be finishing off with color B when I slip stitch to join at the end of this round. We will have 54 stitches, and I will meet you back here with my first color to show you round 9. Alright, we finished round 8 and we're moving on to round 9. So I've just joined my first color in with a slip stitch into the last stitch that I did for round 8, then done a chain of 2. Going to do 2 half double crochet. Remembering that chain does not count as a stitch. Oops. Now we're going to be doing a front post treble crochet around the stitch before the front post stitch from round 7. So into round 7, the stitch before our front post treble crochet in that round. Now we're going to do a twisted half double crochet increase into the next stitch. We are skipping the one behind the treble crochet this time. So a twisted half double crochet increase, we pop our first one in, yarn over, go behind the stitch we just made into the same stitch from the previous round to pull up a loop and complete our stitch. Now we're going to do a front post treble crochet around the stitch after the front post in round 7. One, 2, 3. So we've got a nice front post sitting either side of the front post we did in round 7. Now we're going to do 6 half double crochet. Four, 5, ready to repeat our stitch sequence with a front post treble crochet around the stitch next to the one from round 7. So we're going to repeat that stitch sequence all the way around. Now at the end, before we join, remember we started with 2 half double crochet, so our last repeat will only have 4 half double crochet after the second front post treble, and we'll be joining not into the chain but into the top of the first half double crochet with a slip stitch to finish out round 9. I won't be finishing off with this colour because round 10 is also worked in colour A. Now if you're wanting to follow along with the video, go back around 3 minutes and 15 seconds and you should be at the first front post treble crochet. I'll let you continue with that stitch repetition all the way back, remembering joining with a slip stitch into the top of the first half double crochet, and I will see you back here for round 10. Got some gorgeous texture happening in this square now. We're ready for round 10. So starting with a chain of 2. Remembering, if you're not following my colour changes, you can always just join in with a slip stitch at the same point and continue as per the pattern. So chaining 2, then we're going to do 9 half double crochet, remembering that chain does not count as a stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 half double crochet and then a half double crochet increase. So we'll repeat that 9 half double crochet increase all the way around. There'll be 66 half double crochet for round 10, and we'll be finishing with a reverse join. So I'll meet you back here to show you how to finish out this round with the reverse join. And then I'll be finishing off with colour A. We're halfway through this beautiful square and changing over to our second colour for round 11. I've just completed my 66 half double crochet for round 10, which is my last one, pulling up the loop and removing my hook. Now I'm just going to turn my work. Now we insert the hook into the back side of our first stitch, pick up the loop that we've just dropped and pull that loop through the first stitch. The loop will now be at the back, and we can begin working our third loop stitches for round 11. So I'm just going to finish off with this yarn. I'll meet you back here with my second colour to work round 11. Okay guys, we're back and ready for row 11. So again, we're working in the third loop, remembering normally we'd work through the top of the stitch. We're working in the back third loop of those half double crochet. So I've joined in my second colour with a slip stitch and done a chain of 2, remembering that does not count as a stitch. So working 10 half double crochet into the third loop of the stitches from the previous round. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Loving how the top of the stitch sits like a chain in front of those half double crochet. So we've done 10 half double crochet. Now a half double crochet increase into the next stitch. So 2 half double crochet into the same stitch, and then we repeat that stitch sequence. So all the way around, 10 half double crochet and a half double crochet increase. The end of round 11 you'll have 72 stitches. I'm going to leave my second colour attached because round 12 is worked in that colour as well. Joining with a standard slip stitch into the top of the first half double crochet to finish round 11. I'll see you back here shortly. 72 half double crochet that comprise row 11, joined with a slip stitch. Still working with colour B. I've just done a chain 1 to start round 12. Now that doesn't count as a stitch, so we're going to single crochet into the same stitch and into the next stitch. Now from here we're going to repeat the same stitch sequence to create 4 sides. So we're going to start squaring up our circle. First we have 2 half double crochet, three double crochet, 1, 2 and 3. Then we've got 2 treble crochet increases, so 2 treble crochet into the next stitch, 1 and 2, 2 treble crochet into the next stitch, 1 and 2, chain 1, which will become our corner, and then another 2 treble crochet increases, so 2 into the next stitch, and then 2 treble crochet into the one following, and bring the treble crochet increases, so 2 into the same stitch, so 4 on each side of our chain 1 to create our corner. Working out and back down the next side, 3 double crochet, two half double crochet, and 4 single crochet. And then we begin our sequence repetition again. So if you're wanting to follow along with the video, go back around 2 minutes 45 seconds. Otherwise, continue repeating that stitch sequence down the remaining sides. So we'll have 4 sides, 4 corners. Each side will have 22 stitches, so 88 in total. And I will meet you back here for round 13. I'll be going back to my first colour. Hey guys, finished off round 12, so we're working with a square instead of a circle now, and ready for round 13. So I've made a bit of a start here. Just joined in my first colour with a slip stitch, started working single crochet down the side, a single crochet into each stitch. So nice and easy for this round. It's just a single crochet into each stitch until we get to our corner chain space. corner chain space will be a single crochet, chain 2, and then another single crochet all into the same chain 1 space. One more. So we're at the chain 1 space that forms our corner. We're going to pop in a single crochet, chain 2, and a second single crochet. Then we'll single crochet down the next side. Be careful not to miss the stitch first out of the corner. It can get a little lost under our corner stitches. Now this round will have 24 single crochet per side, a total of 92 single crochet. It is important that we keep track of our stitch count. Alright guys, I'm going to let you finish that round of single crochet. I'll meet you back here for round 14. I will continue working with my first colour. See you soon. Okay guys, round 14. I'm continuing with the same colour. Of course, if you're wanting to change up the colour scheme, joining in with a slip stitch into the finishing stitch and following the pattern as we go. So chaining 3, which will count as our first double crochet. Then we're going to do a cross stitch. So double crochet cross stitch, yarning over, skipping a stitch, popping a double crochet into the second, and then popping a double crochet into the stitch we missed, but going behind this stitch. So going in behind it, into the stitch that we missed, and completing our double crochet as normal. Then we've got 2 double crochet, and we're going to repeat that again. So cross stitch, yarning over, skipping 1 stitch, popping our double crochet into the second, completing our cross stitch by yarning over, going in behind the stitch we just did, and then popping this double crochet into the missed stitch. So you can see it makes that lovely cross pattern, X pattern. From there, 2 double crochet. We're almost at the corner. So we're going to pop a double crochet into the last stitch on this side. Then we're into the corner chain 2 space. So we're going to pop a double crochet in there. Chain 2, and then another double crochet into that same corner chain space. Remembering not to miss the first stitch on our way out. Now working down the next side, going to pop a double crochet into that first stitch. Now from here, you'll be able to use this stitch sequence to finish the other 3 sides. So yarning over, popping in a cross stitch, remember always working that second double crochet behind the first one when we're going into the missed stitch. Then we're going to do 2 double crochet, we're going to repeat that 5 times down the side. Remembering as we're coming to our next corner that we add an extra double crochet into that last stitch to finish it off. and we do a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet into that corner chain space. So repeating cross stitch, then 2 double crochet all the way along. Coming towards the end, we've done our cross stitch, 2 double crochet, 1 stitch left. We put a standard double crochet in before we do our corner. So we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around, finishing with a slip stitch into the 3rd loop of the starting chain because that counted as our first double crochet. We will have 100 stitches at the end of this round, and I'll be continuing on round 15 with colour A as well. I'll see you back here shortly. Okay guys, back and ready for round 14. So I'm doing a chain 3, which counts as my first double crochet, then I'm doing a cross stitch. So to do a cross stitch, I'm skipping my next stitch, popping a double crochet into the second, then I'm going to yarn over, go behind the stitch I've just done and into the stitch I missed. So it's sort of easier to look at the back of your project for this bit. Pulling the yarn up and completing my double crochet. You can see we've done the first one skipping a stitch and then worked a double crochet into the skip stitch behind the first one, which is how we get the nice little cross. Now I'm going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches. And repeat that stitch sequence again with a cross stitch, skipping the next stitch into the second, yarning over, going behind the stitch and into the missed stitch to complete our next double crochet, and then 2 standard double crochet after that. Now we're going to finish out by popping a cross stitch into the second last 2 stitches, we'll have 1 stitch left before our corner. Oops. So cross stitch, double crochet into the last stitch on that side, and then we're at our corner, so we're going to double crochet, chain 2 and double crochet into the same chain space. And pop a double crochet into the next stitch, cross stitch into the next 2, oops, 1, 2 to complete our cross stitch. Then I'm going to double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Now coming out from your cross stitch, you want to make sure you're not working into the same stitch as the first single crochet. I'm going to repeat that double crochet, that cross stitch 2 double crochet 5 times down the side, and then at the end of the row you'll do a cross stitch and you'll have 1 double crochet left again, so the cross stitch will be in in these two. Hold on. There we go. The cross stitch will be into these two stitches. You'll double crochet into the last one, and then your second double crochet will be into the chain space. Double crochet, chain 2, double crochet. Coming out, it'll be one in the chain space, one in the next stitch, and then a cross stitch, so that we have that pattern stitch sequence continuity all the way around the row. So repeat that pattern all the way back to the beginning. Be joining with a slip stitch into the third loop of the starting chain because that counted as our first double crochet. We'll be finishing out this round with 100 stitches. I'm going to be continuing round 15 with this colour, so I won't finish off at the end of this round. I'll see you soon. Oh, sorry guys. Round 15, we've got all those cross stitches. Now, if you're wanting to triple check your stitch count, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cross stitches down each side. So, going to work this in my first colour. Nice and simple for round 15. Doing a chain of 1, which does not count as a stitch. So working a single crochet into the same stitch and into each stitch down the side. Making sure you don't miss that second double crochet in your cross stitches. So working all the way down to our corner chain space. Single crochet in each. Once you're at the corner chain space, you're going to pop a single crochet into the corner chain 2 and a second single crochet into that corner chain space. As always, coming out of the corner, making sure you're not missing your first stitch. Now for this round of single crochet, we're going to have 28 stitches per side, so 108 in total. Finishing off with a slip stitch into the first single crochet, and I will be finishing off with this colour and using my second colour when I see you back here for round 16. See you in a minute. Okay guys, we're back for round 16. Now I've just joined in my second colour and done a chain of 2 to start out the round. I'm going to pop a front post treble crochet around the starting chain in row 14, and we're going to use that to make a cross stitch. So we're going to go in behind the stitch and do a front post treble crochet around the stitch before in row 14. So I've just popped a cross stitch into row 14, around the posts of row 14, next to the cross stitch that we made in row 14. We're going to then work 2 half double crochet to the next 2 stitches, and then we're going to do another cross stitch around the standard double crochet from round 14. So a treble crochet around the second, oops, treble crochet around the second, and then working back around the previous. Okay, coming out of our second cross stitch, we're doing 2 half double crochet and a front post treble crochet around the next standard double crochet from round 14. Then 2 half double crochet into the last 2 stitches. brings us to our corner chain space where we're doing a half double crochet, chain 2 and another half double crochet. That's into our chain space. Careful not to miss the first stitch on the way out. We'll be doing 2 half double crochet, then a front post treble crochet around the standard double crochet closest to the cross stitch in row 14, 2 half double crochet, and then we're going to repeat the stitch pattern across 5 times. So we're doing a cross stitch around the 2 standard double crochet from row 14, treble crochet, cross stitch, first one, remembering to go behind the stitch and then around the post of the previous. Complete that treble crochet cross stitch, then we have 2 half double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So we're going to be repeating that all the way around. Back to the beginning, we'll be joining with a slip stitch at the end, but we'll be joining to the top of the first treble crochet. So that's part of our treble crochet cross stitch. We'll be missing our starting chain and joining with a slip stitch into the top of that treble crochet. I'll let you guys finish off this round. There'll be 30 stitches per side, 116 in total, and we'll be using the second colour for round 17. See you soon. My apologies, lovely people. I misspoke when discussing the finishing off of this round and said that you should slip stitch into the starting chain. That is actually incorrect. Be slip stitching across the starting chain into the top of the first treble crochet, which will help pull that over and make the cross sit beautifully. The square is simply gorgeous. Now I'm going to finish off this colour. No, sorry, I'm not going to finish off this colour. We're going to move on now to round 17. So chaining 2, putting a half double crochet into each and every stitch because our chain 2 does not count as a stitch as with previous rounds. So half double crochet into each and every stitch all the way down the side. When we reach our corner, we're doing a half double crochet, chain 2 and a second half double crochet all into that corner chain space. So at the completion of this round of single crochet, half double crochet rather, at the completion of this round of half double crochet, luckily my hands were doing the right stitch, we will have 32 stitches per side, 124 stitches in total. Now at the end of this round I am most definitely finishing off with colour B and moving to colour A for round 18. We will be finishing off this round with a reverse join. So I'll meet you back here to show you the reverse join one more time before we move on to round 18. Okay, back just to run over that reverse join one more time. So I've done my last half double crochet and pulling the loop up, turning my work over, going through the top of the first stitch, grabbing my loop, pulling it through. and I can tie off now. Now the benefit to finishing a round with a reverse join is that everything is nice and neat and ready for our next round, which will be worked into the third loop of those half double crochet. So there is a reason, and you can see the loop sitting nicely there, not tucked away. All right, I'm going to finish off. I'll meet you back here for round 18 with our first colour. Okay, round 18, joining into the third loop of those half double crochet. So the top of the stitch sitting the front, not through there, looking at the back and going through the third loop. Now we're going to work a single crochet into each and every stitch all the way around. Obviously we can't work in the third loop through our corner chain space. We're working our corner chain spaces as per normal with a single crochet, a chain 2 and a single crochet into the chain space. So at the end of this round I'll have 34 single crochet per side, a total of 132 single crochet around the entirety of the square. After this round of single crochet, I am going to be changing back to my second colour. So I will meet you back here once you finish this round of third loop single crochet. Remembering our corners are a single crochet, chain 2 and a second single crochet into the corner chain space. So nice and simple, just finishing off the last 2 rounds. So I'll meet you back here round 19 with our second colour on our second last row. See you soon. Alright guys, back for round 19. I've actually just changed up my colour a little bit with the other colour I'm using for this cowl to finish my blanket. So I've just joined in with a slip stitch, chain 1, which doesn't count as a stitch, and then a single crochet into each and every stitch along the side. I've just broken a bit off my hook. Corner chain space will pop a single crochet, chain of 2 and a second single crochet. Now round 20 is done the same way. It's a simple round of single crochet with the same corner spacing. Round 19, this round will have 36 stitches per side, and round 20 will have the 38 stitches per side that we're going to need to join all of these beautiful squares together at the end of the cowl. I love the beautiful textures in this square. It's been a pleasure to video and to hook up. Thank you so much, Courtney at Made with Love and Yarn. This is a simply gorgeous square that I have felt so lucky to video for you. I hope you've all enjoyed hooking it up as much as I have. I can't wait to see all your colour combos. Until next time, have a fantastic day. Happy hooking.